morning. My name is Kata. Welcome to K2B Fitness, and today we are going to do an ab, hips, and stretch kind of routine. Not kind of routine. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to do abs. We're going to do some core. That's going to include our hips and our glutes. And then we are going to do some mobility and stretching flows. I'm going to go at a nice, good pace. So hopefully everybody will be able to keep up okay on the mobility. I will also offer modifications for a couple of things. So the most important thing is just to move to the best of your ability. And if you really struggle with mobility and the mobility drills, it means you probably need to do them a little more often. So just keep that in mind. Grab a mat if you want to be down on the floor. If you've got a mat, a towel works well. You just want something with a little bit of cushion. And we do have some things, a couple things we're going to do on our knees. So if you need to, grab a pillow, roll up your mat, put something underneath your knees to make it a little bit more comfortable. If you go online, if you ever need it, there's a company called Airex that makes some amazing ones, but this is kind of just a generic version of that, but it's a couple inches thick. It's pretty firm, but you can grab something like this to put under your knees, which is a good thing if you've got knee issues or if you've had knee surgery or anything like that. Otherwise, you can get a thicker mat. Just keep in mind, some mats are, like mine starts to roll up at the end, so you have to be careful of that. There are yoga mats that are very thin, that are sticky, and then there are mats like this one that sometimes tend to stretch a little bit when we do certain exercises. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for a mat, but it's good to have something that you can put underneath your knees. It'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit better. So we've got just about a minute to go, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Nothing crazy today, nothing that's going to get our heart rate jacked up or flying through the roof. We're just going to do some abs, some hips, which is part of your core, your glutes, and all of this area, your pelvic floor area is all included in your core. And then we're going to do a little bit of stretching. So you will want to make sure, grab some water. Even while we're doing this workout, you want to have a little bit of water with you. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're just going to be down on our mats today. So we're going to start hands and knees just for a moment, and we're going to do some cat-cows. And we're going to add a little bit of variation for those cat-cows. So we want to be in a nice, good hands and knees position. Shoulders away from the ears, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. And we're just going to start with a very gentle inhale. Lower the abs towards the floor. And then we exhale, and we're going to tuck our tail and push the floor away. Good. So we're just going to inhale, and we're going to exhale. Good. Inhale, and exhale. Now we're going to do a little bit of hip circles. So we're going to inhale, drop the hips, shift the hips to the right, and now we're going to round the spine, return to the center, and shift the hips to the left, and return to the inhale. So we're just going to start to add in kind of a little bit of a circle, like if you were dancing, and it's a very small movement. So we just inhale, think about lowering the abs towards the floor, shift to the right, round the spine, shift to the left. Good, now we're going to go the other direction. So we're going to circle. So if we think about it, our hips don't just go forwards and back. We've got that little bit of mobility in our hips. So we're just doing some good circles. Take your time with this. Take your time. Do a couple more. Good. We're going to bring it into the center, shoulders away from the ears, and we're just going to do scapular push-ups. So elbows stay straight. I want you to squeeze the shoulders together, and then I want you to separate your shoulders. So squeeze, separate. Good, 2 more. This is a very small movement, and it's very tempting to want to bend your elbows. Good, last one. All right, we're gonna bring it back. We're going to sit back, circle those wrists, give them a little bit of a break. I'm gonna turn my fan on and we're gonna flip over onto our backs. And we're gonna do some breathing drills before we get started with our ab workout. So we're going to be on our backs, knees bent, feet flat. And I want you to place your hands on your abdomen. We're just gonna take a nice deep breath in. We're gonna inhale. And as we exhale, I want you to press your low back in towards the floor. Good, inhale in. Exhale, press that low back in towards the floor. So we're trying to draw our abdomen in. Good, take a couple more breaths like this. Inhale. Exhale, press that low back into the floor. So it's not a lot of movement. So we're not doing any arching or rounding of our spine. We're just inhaling. And then exhale, and we pull that low back into the spine. Or your abs into your spine, abs into your low back. All right, so we're gonna get started with our ab workout. We're gonna do 45 seconds work, 15 seconds of rest. This is a no repeat workout. So we're gonna do everything one side and then the other, but we only have to do everything once. So we're gonna start with a single leg bridge. And if you prefer, or if you have hip issues like SI joint issues and such, go ahead and keep both feet flat on the floor. So we're gonna take right leg up, left leg on the floor. We're gonna press that low back into the floor, keep it nice and tight. Inhale, and as we exhale, we're gonna lift up and then bring it back down again. 45 seconds work, your time is on. So we're gonna inhale, exhale on the way up, bring it down. Now I have my leg up. If you prefer, you can have your leg crossed, or if you want to make sure that you're holding a good pelvis position, we're just going to pull our knee in towards our chest. This is harder than you think it is because it's forcing you to keep a nice good position with your pelvis and your low back and spine. So just a nice good push up, hold it. This is kind of a slow and steady workout today, so we're not flying through it. We've got 8 seconds, and then we're actually going to move on to our second exercise. We're doing a lot of these in pairs today. 2 and 1. Good. So now the leg that's up is going to stay up. We're going to take our opposite arm, reaching overhead. So we're going to extend out. Then we're going to do an oblique crunch lift, and I want you to press that hand into your knee. Here we go. Time is on. So we open, little oblique, and we press. Open and press. Now if you don't want to extend the leg, you set the foot down and bring it back up again. So I want you to think right in the center, hold it, little tug of war, bring it back in. When we extend out, don't allow your low back to arch off the floor. We want to keep it pressed in this nice neutral position right here. So inhale, exhale right at the top. If you want to make it harder, bring the legs up. So you're bringing it up. Good, last one. Let's bring it down. We're going to switch and go to the other side. So we're going to start with our single leg bridge. So find the position you want to be in, leg up, leg crossed, or the challenging one right here. Time is on. So inhale, exhale. And I want you to think about a nice good squeeze at the top. As you lift your hips off the ground, open the front of your hip towards the ceiling. Sometimes we do a bridge. If you watch my back, we lift and the back and the upper spine don't go anywhere. We want to lift as one nice big piece. Your entire torso is trying to lift from your hips all the way to your shoulders. So inhale up, exhale as we lift. Hip comes up, knee pushes towards the toes. Good. I'm going to do one more. Let's bring it down, getting ready to do our in and out on the other side. So knee is bent, or you can take that leg out straight. Bring that arm up. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, here we go. We crunch. It's a little bit of an oblique. So take it up. We're going to do a reach. If you can, your arm doesn't have to go huge. I just want you to press the hand into the thigh, thigh presses into the hand. Little bit of an isometric movement at the top. Again, you can take it a little bit bigger. Depends on how your brain connects with your body. So up, good reach. If you don't want to extend the leg, just tap the toe down, bring it back up again. 8 seconds, and we're going to move into a side plank. Good, bring it up. We're going to move into a side plank on your elbows if you can. We're all going to be on our knees because we're going to add in a clamshell. So we're going to lift up, and as we do, we open, knee in, drop it down. Your time is on. So we're adding in a little bit of a clamshell here. Now, if you really need to, you can just do this, or you can just hold your side plank and you can hold a hip up. And I want you to just add a little hip drop and a lift. If you want to make it really hard, you lift, then you add a full leg lift. So you don't have to go up and back, we just want to do a lift and down. But if you prefer, we just do a clamshell. This is one of the harder moves. This is where we start getting our hips in here. I'm feeling my lower hip already. This is a really good one. Good. Bring it to hands and knees. The leg that was down, we're now going to do a fire hydrant out to the side. Option to add a kick. So nice and tall. We're just going to do fire hydrant and in. Now option, fire hydrant and add that kick. Fire hydrant with a kick. If you want to, you are welcome to just do your side leg lift and your fire hydrant. Otherwise, we're going to add it in. Remember, today's workout is a little slower and steadier. Don't have to speed through it. I really want you to think about feeling those muscles. I'm definitely feeling the outside of my hip already, which is going to make one of our later exercises kind of stink. So prepare yourselves. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. And I've already flipped over, so I'm ready to go into my side plank. Hip drop with your clamshells. So shoulder over your elbow. Nice and tall. Let's lift it up. Here we go. So we're going to go down, up, add that little bit of external rotation. So it's not a huge movement, so I don't expect you and actually don't want you to drop your hip and then lift. I just want you to think going down and then adding that extra little bit of lift. If you need to just do your clamshells or just do your side plank, that's okay too. Make it harder. We drop down, we lift up. So we're kind of doing a fire hydrant again while we're up here. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it to our hands and knees. We're going to do our fire hydrant option to add that in, add that kick. So good, hands and knees. 3, 2, 1. Good. So option right here. If you don't want to be on hands and knees, you can just do straight leg lifts lying on your side. Let's try to bring in that kick. So side leg, extend the knee. So you're also going to be getting a little bit of a hamstring stretch here, especially if you're tight. It's okay if it's not super high, but you got to lift it up enough that your foot can clear the floor. Good. We got 12 seconds to go here. Try not to lean all your weight into one hip. So we're getting core while we're getting our hip work. Good. Bring it in. Sit back. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to do a plank with a leg lift. You're welcome to be in bird dog if you prefer. Good. 3, 2, and 1. So good plank position. We're just going to do a glute lift and set it down all on one side. If you need to, drop to your knees. You're still gonna do a nice, good glute extension. You can also be back on hands and knees doing your glute lift. This is core stability right here, squeezing that glute. This next exercise is the one that I'm kind of not looking forward to. We're gonna see how it goes. So think about the leg that's lifting, good plank position. We don't wanna go down into down dog. We're gonna do that later. 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring it in. We're going to take the leg that was lifting, we're gonna bring it out to the side, hold it up, and we're gonna go forward and back. Forward and back. It's gonna stink. Here we go. So bring it up, hold it out, forward and back. Now, leg extended is harder. What can we do? We lift the leg up and we go forward and back. Right here, right here. So you decide, you can even drop down onto your forearms if you need to. I want to think about a good hip lift, just a small forward and back movement. You need to rest, cross it behind, sit into that hip, then bring it back around. What do we got? We got 10 seconds left. We can do this. I know you can do this too. This is a hard one. Remember, bend the knee. This is hip work right here. Good, bring it in, sit back. Going back for our plank on the other side. Do a bird dog or a knee plank if that feels better. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good plank. Can you do this at an incline? Yes, absolutely. You can even do this one standing if you need to give your legs and your wrists a little bit of a break. So good steady plank. This is a way for us to get our hips and our core at the same time. Slow and steady. Drop to the knees if that's what you're feeling today. Goal is to try to keep going the whole 45 seconds. Remember, we only have to do everything once on each side. Good, you've even got your bird dogs. You've got 10 seconds to go right here. Good, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go for our side leg. I'm gonna turn so you can see. Remember, you can be on your forearms. So let's go ahead, bring that leg up, extend it out. Here we go, forward and back, forward and back. So this is one that I struggle with, especially on this side. The higher you go, the harder this is gonna be, so you can just have your foot barely moving across the floor. You can have your knee bent right here, but we're trying to hold that side leg lifted up and out to the side, right here. It's not a big movement, out and side. Remember, it can be a little bit low, lifting it up. Pulse it even smaller if you can. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, sit back, shake it out. We've got one more exercise on each side. We're gonna sit on our back sides. We got some hip work right here. So hands by your hips, sit tall, lift right leg, up and out, right here. Don't let your tummy sink. You don't wanna drop down. We wanna stay tall. The smaller the movement, the easier this is going to be. If you want to make it harder, lean back just a little. But we want to sit nice and tall. Right here, try not to hold on. If you start to feel cramping, rest. Let it relax. Check your form. Bring it back up again. So challenge, sit as tall as you can. Brace that core. Lean back a little, hands by your hips if you need to. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in, shake it out. We got one more. We got to do this other side. So shoulders down and back. Sit as tall as you can right here. 2, and 1. Good. So up and out. Start very small. Start small. I want you to think about squeezing this quad so it's easier to lift our leg if our knee is relaxed. I want you to squeeze your quad, flex your foot just like we do in some of our hip mobility work. Out and in. This is your last core exercise right here. So nice and tall. If you find yourself sinking, hands on your hips or by your hips, lift. 15 seconds to go. So you're 2/3 of the way done. Try to make it a little bigger if you can. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's bring it in. Shake it out. Grab a quick drink of water. That is our ab and hip workout today. You're thinking, we didn't do a lot of abs. We did. We did tons of abs in there. We just didn't do 9 million crunches, right? So we're gonna go through mobility series. A little bit different than what we've normally done, which is fine. So we're gonna start with our legs a little bit wide. So feet are apart, we're gonna start. We've done matador before, so we're gonna do our matador. So this is kind of our 90-90. It's okay if we don't get to 90-90 here. I want you to think about just doing a little matador sequence. Hands can be by your hips, no problem at all. Good, now we're all gonna go to the right. So we're sitting in our matador to the right. This is also our S seat. So if you ever hear me talk about S seat, so challenge. We're gonna take this leg, we're gonna straighten it, we're gonna circle it around, put it on the floor, hug our knee, open book right here. Return, take this leg out, back to our S seat, hand by our hips. We're gonna circle, we're gonna come up, lift your hip, hold it, reach back, bring it down, circle the arm, back around. Good. I'm gonna do this one more time. So we're gonna sit tall. Take that leg out, circle around. We're gonna hug our knee, open out to the side, bring it in, circle this leg, back around to our S seat, hand by our hip, big arm circle back. Good, bring it up, lift the hips. Set it down, circle around. Good, we're gonna switch over to the other side. So bring it in, matador, all the way over, comfortable position. We're gonna sit nice and tall. We're gonna take this back leg. We're gonna bring it up, circle it around. You gotta get a better position. Hug your knee, open your book. Bring it back in, straighten this leg, circle it around. Hand by your hip, arm circle. Bring it all the way up, good hip stretch, reach back. Bring it down, circle the arm, back around. Good, take this leg out to the side, circle it. Hug the knee, open book, bring it back in, leg out. We're going to circle it around. Hands by your hips, circle the arm, lifting up, open that hip, stretch your chest. Bring it down, circle it back around. Good. Let's go ahead and bring it in. We're gonna go for a child's pose. So we're gonna sit back into a child's pose position. So sit back, reach those arms out as far as you can. Now we're gonna walk our hands to the right. So you should feel a stretch along the left side of your body. Good, bring it back in to the center. And we're going to reach over to the left side now, so we should feel a stretch on the right side of the body. So every time you exhale, try to relax in. Good, bring it back into the center, sitting back into our child's pose. Pull the hands back slightly, tuck the toes under. We're going to push our hips back into down dog. Try to keep the knees a little bit bent so we can work on pressing the heels down to the ground. Good, bring it back down, knees down, point your toes, sit back into child's pose. Now we're going to wave, so we're going to tuck our chin, round our spine, roll through like a wave crashing to the shore, pull the shoulders down, and we are the mermaid on the rocks. Good, go ahead, sit back into child's pose. Tuck your toes under. Lift the hips up into down dog. Good. Take the knees to the floor. Sit back into child's pose. Let's get ready to wave. Tuck your chin, round your spine. Roll through. Bring it up into mermaid or into up dog. You decide how low your hips go. Good. Sit back into child's pose. We're going to do this one more time. So child's pose. Tuck the toes under. We're going to lift our hips into down dog. Drop the knees. Child's pose. Tuck our chin, round our spine, rolling all the way through until we come up into up dog. And it's okay if you just come to a plank. This is okay too. Good. Now we're all going to go all the way down to the floor. We're going to keep our shoulders down. Right arm reaches out. We're going to rotate the hand around, palm up, lift the torso slightly. We're going to try to get that hand into the small of our back or as close as you can get. Then we're going to circle it back around. Bring it in, switching sides. So squeeze your glutes, reach the hand out. Circle the hand around. Lift, try to get the hand into the small of the back or as close as you can get. Circle it back around. Bring the hand under the chest. We're going to push ourselves up and back, and we're going to come to a kneeling position. So we're going to come to kneeling. We're going to be nice and tall. Squeeze our glutes. Right hand reaches for our heel. Left hand reaches up, and it's okay if you don't reach your heel. Good. Bring it down. Hands to the floor. Push yourself back. We're going to roll ourselves up to a standing position. Nice and slow. Deep breaths. Arms up. Sit back into child's pose, or not child's pose, chair. Bring the arms down. Take them a little farther forward. Drop down into bear, and then knees to the floor. Let's bring it back up to a kneeling stance. Squeeze the glutes. Right arm reaches back. Left arm reaches up. We're going to open. Bring it in. Hands to the floor. Push ourselves back. We're going to roll ourselves up. Bring it all the way up. Arms reach. Push the hips back into chair. Hands down to the floor. Drop down to your knees. And back to our kneeling position. We have two more. We're going to switch over to the other side. So we're going to take our left hand, reach back, right arm reaches up. Bring it down. Hands to the floor. Push the hips back. We're going to roll ourselves up to a standing position. Arms up. Push the hips back. Sit it down, chair pose. Hands to the floor. Knees down, and we're going to come to kneeling. We have this one more time. This is the last thing we're doing today. So reach the hand back. Left hand reaches for the heel. Right arm reaches up. Bring it down. Take your hands to the floor. Push back. Going to roll ourselves up. Arms reach overhead. Good. Push it back. Chair pose. Hands down, a little bit out. Drop the knees to the floor. Come back to full kneeling. And then let's just push ourselves back to a standing position. Roll ourselves all the way up. Deep breath. Let's roll those shoulders up, back, and down into your back pocket. Let's take a couple deep breaths in. Lift up, spread the fingers up on the tiptoes if you can. Exhale, heels down, thumb to index, middle ring, and pinky. Good, one more time. Big breath in. And exhale. And you are all done. So I want you to give yourself a nice, good pat on the back, and hopefully you feel Like you got a little bit of core work, but not too bad, and then you got a little bit of mobility and stretching in today. It is ridiculously hot where I am at right now, so it felt pretty good to do a little bit of low-key work today. So I hope you enjoyed the workout. Remember to hit the like button if you like this workout, subscribe so you get access to all of my videos, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you are notified anytime I have a new live or anytime I upload a new video. Feel free to check out my website. I have tons of workout videos on there. You can do a few of them for free, and then I also have memberships, and I have classes Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time from Strong Nation, cardio kickboxing, strength training, and a boot camp workout. So have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in class. Bye.